After over 3 years of waiting, I am thrilled to introduce what might have been the most anticipated and sought-after upgrade ever made for the Atari Jaguar, the JagSD. The Jaguar SD is a ROM cart for the Atari Jaguar that sells for about $170 plus shipping and uses micro SD cards to load ROMs. It was first announced over 3 years ago by James, aka Saint from Retro HQ, and I've been following the project closely ever since. James also makes ROM carts for the Atari Lynx and Neo Geo Pocket, and based on the quality of those, I have high hopes for this Jaguar cart. The JagSD ships in a basic box and apparently is a sharp choking hazard. Oh, wait, that's just the pin it ships with. The ROM cart itself comes double bagged in both an anti-static bag and bubble bag and comes with a manual. Overall, the quality seems great and the case feels well made. The only ports on the cart are a micro SD card slot and a USB port, which I believe is designed for developer use. Okay, let's get this thing ready to play games. As always, I recommend starting out by formatting your micro SD card FAT32. If the card's over 32 gigabytes, you'll need a special program for that, but I believe there's freeware and open source programs available. I also recommend always updating the firmware on anything you buy these days before it's first used, so I'm going to throw a few ROMs and the update file on the root of the SD card just to get it ready and try it out. Now I'm just going to plug in the cart, make sure the micro SD is inserted, and power it on. As you can see, the firmware updates really quickly, and then it boots to a basic menu where you could load your games. This menu has the ability to load custom artwork though, so let's talk about that a bit. If you download the marquee tool from the main JagSD page, you can use the command line to generate your own marquee files, based on artwork you already have. In my opinion, this would be perfect for homebrew creators who want to supply their own art, but your average user might just want to download the marquee pack that a user on the Atari Age forums was nice enough to create for everyone. Just download the pack, then make sure your ROMs are named exactly like the MRQ files. Now that looks cool. Most of the games in the ROM set I downloaded already have a marquee file, so I'm pretty much good to go. Okay, let's check out how long it takes to load a smaller 1 megabyte game. Wow, only about 4 seconds. Now let's check a medium 2 megabyte game. Seems like only about a second more. That's cool. Now let's try the 4 megabyte games. Just over 10 seconds to load. That means even the largest games in the library barely take any time to load. Overall, the JagSD is simple to use and works exactly as I'd hoped. There's a few more things to point out though. First, the USB port I mentioned earlier allows you to upload and run code, as well as run ROMs directly from a PC. The software to do this isn't out yet, but it's designed for developers who want instant access to changing the game and would rather not constantly be swapping SD cards around. This is somewhat similar to the Skunk board, which is the only other way people can play ROMs on original hardware. It's not a traditional ROM cart since you could only load 1 or 2 games at a time, and each need to be flashed by typing commands into a DOS prompt, while both the Jaguar was on and the Skunk board was tethered to your PC. Now, I'm certainly not trying to take away from the Skunk board's legacy, as it's a great device that still works fine. I just really feel like the Skunk board was designed for developers, and the JagSD is designed for both developers and everyone else who wants to use it. So while the Skunk board's still a great thing to use, I feel like the JagSD surpasses it in every way. So overall, the JagSD performed exactly as I'd hoped and really lived up to everything that I hoped it would be. There's a few more things to note, and the first and most important by far is that don't forget that Jaguar consoles have the most finicky hardware I've ever seen, and I'm pretty sure it's even worse than the 32X. So if you're just purchasing a Jaguar to use this now and you have issues, I'd still check the support forums just in case, but expect that it's a problem with your Jaguar. I ran into a bunch of issues myself, but my Jaguar had always given me problems, and there were issues that were consistent with the other games that I had, so I'm pretty much convinced that there's absolutely no issue with my JagSD at all. James said he was going to try to find some tricks that he could possibly implement into the ROM cart to help with stuff like this, but at the end of the day, you're working around bad hardware, so I would just really keep realistic expectations when using an Atari Jaguar. But all that being said, if yours is already working fine and performing perfectly, you could expect really great performance from this. Now, of course, it is a new product, so I would always just keep my eyes open for firmware updates and different enhancements. Maybe just follow James on Twitter and watch for when he posts updates like that. But overall, this is definitely ready for the public. It's not in beta form, it's ready to just use and go, and just expect some enhancements along the way. Now, there was a lot more that I would have wanted to show on this, but I really just wanted to focus on the ROM card itself and how it worked. So in the next few months, I'll have a video that really showcases everything the Jaguar can do, and I guess can't do, as well as all the amazing accessories. So if you came here looking for a comprehensive Jaguar video, you're going to have to wait a little while longer. For now, I just wanted to showcase the JagSD, as well as showcase all the work James put into it. Now, I do have to also say that I paid for this, and this wasn't like a sponsored post or anything like that. It's a little sad that I have to say things like that these days, but this is just a product that I've been a fan of from a person in a company that I'm a fan of, and I'm really overall happy and feel like I got everything that I expected. Well, that's it for this time. If you liked this video, please make sure to subscribe and check out the weekly podcast where I keep everybody in the loop of everything going on in the retro gaming scene. Also, if you'd like to support this channel as well as all of the behind-the-scenes research that goes into it, please consider signing up for any of the support platforms linked below. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.